A common concern that I hear often from breastfeeding mamas is that if they start sleep training their baby, will their milk supply drop? We are going to address this and so much more in this video, so stay tuned. My name is Missy Yondo. I'm the owner of Slumber and Bloom. I'm a certified pediatric sleep consultant and potty training coach. So if you want tips and tricks on sleep training, potty training, and all things motherhood, subscribe to this channel and click the bell so you get notified every time I put out a new video. Okay, so being World Breastfeeding Week, we are talking about sleep training and breastfeeding. A lot of moms are really concerned that if they sleep train their baby and they're obviously sleeping through the night and not having those feedings, then their milk supply will drop. So we're gonna address the actual facts in this situation, starting with the fact that your milk supply is produced on supply and demand. So if your baby continues to wake through the night, your body will continue to produce the calories through your breast milk overnight. But when your baby starts sleeping through the night, then your body is not going to produce the milk at that time anymore. Instead, it will be producing that milk during the day, because more than likely your child is going to be taking in more breast milk volume during the day than they were at night. Because if they were taking, let's just say 500 calories just for the fun of it, but if they were taking in 500 calories in a day and then they were taking in about 100 of those overnight, then they obviously need to replace those during the day, so your body will adjust to that. It is important to talk with your pediatrician about your child's growth and development, because they're the only ones who have access to your child's growth chart and their growth curve to see if they are growing appropriately and if you don't need to be feeding your baby overnight anymore. So of course there is always going to be that population of babies who do need to continue to be woken up during the night to feed, but I am generally talking about the population of babies that do not need to wake to feed at night anymore. If you're waking up every 2 to 3 hours all night long from the onset of bedtime until the morning and you have to feed your baby every single time, then I want you to ask yourself, am I feeding because my baby is hungry, or am I feeding to give comfort? Around 6 months old, and of course this is gonna give or take because every baby is different, but around 6 months old is when your baby does not need any night feedings anymore and is capable of sleeping through the night. So once your baby is sleeping through the night, we did discuss that their calorie intake during the day will increase, and obviously their calorie intake at night will decrease, as will your production. So your production of milk is going to decrease overnight, but that's not going to affect your daytime production. And a lot of times babies sleeping through the night may also coincide with a growth spurt. So you may be nursing more during the day, and that's your body's way and your baby's way of telling your body that it needs to make more milk during the day. So you don't have to worry about sleep training affecting your milk supply, because the way that your baby actually is feeding and how often they're feeding during the day, your body is amazing, and your body will adjust to what your baby needs. So now if your baby is sleeping through the night, you may experience some discomfort. You may be a bit engorged, and you may be wondering if you still need to pump. Some parents decide to continue waking up to do a full pump at that time because they're trying to create a stash of frozen milk for daycare or babysitters or nannies or whatever it might be. So you can do that, but honestly, if your baby's sleeping through the night, then I want you to be sleeping through the night too, because sleep for baby and sleep for mama is equally as important. So if you have to continue with that pumping session just to keep up your frozen stash, then go ahead. But what I typically recommend is that you use a HACA manual pump to just pump to comfort. You do not need to do a full pump at this time, because like we said, your body will adjust. So as you pump to comfort, then your body will stop producing as much overnight, and then slowly but surely you will be able to stop waking up to pump at all. I know that some mamas, when this happens, they're leaking overnight, so you can also invest in the HACA milk collectors, or what are the other ones? The Milkies. I'll pop some pictures up over here of both of those, but they were not around when my babies were breastfeeding, and I really wish that they were, because there have been times This is between us mamas, okay? We don't need the guys to know this because it's a little personal. There were times where I would just like wake up with puddles of milk under me because it was just like leaking. So these Milkies are a great investment, especially for overnight, but also when you start nursing and you're having your letdown, then it'll collect on the side that you're not nursing from, and then you're not leaking all over the place anymore. I mean, what a great invention that should have been invented a long time ago. Another concern that I get from moms about cutting their nursing overnight is, how am I gonna bond with my baby if I'm not nursing throughout the night? Like, am I giving my baby what they need? Of course you are, okay? If your baby is sleeping, then this is when their body is growing. 90% of growth happens in sleep. So that is when your growth hormone is actually released. So giving your child an appropriate amount of uninterrupted sleep is going to help your baby grow and thrive and be happier and less clingy and cranky throughout the day, so that during the day you are actually able to spend that time with your baby and really have that eye-to-eye contact. You can have that skin-to-skin contact, and you can just have extra cuddle time after daytime feedings or before daytime feedings when your baby is awake and alert. This is the time when you and your baby are really getting to know each other. So I highly recommend coming up with some activities that you can do with your baby each day. So if your baby is doing tummy time, get on the floor in front of your baby and do tummy time with your baby and make faces at each other. It is a great time and a great way to kind of have that face-to-face contact and really bond with each other. Nursing and nursing through the night and nursing to sleep and all of those different associations, they're not the only way to bond with your baby. So don't worry about sleep training and actually like sleeping through those wee hours of the morning where your baby may just be attached to you and using you as a pacifier. One more concern that I wanted to address is that if your baby is eating mostly during the night and they're refusing their feedings during the day, you need to kind of recalibrate the daytime hours that your baby is nursing. So what I want you to do when you sleep train your baby is that if your baby is still waking up for those feedings during the night, start cutting back on the amount of time that you are nursing your child during the night. So let's say you're nursing for 10 minutes. So on night 1, maybe you nurse for 8 minutes, and then on night 3, you're nursing for 6 minutes. So you're cutting down every couple of nights so that instead of having all of those calories during the night, your baby is actually going to adjust and start taking in those calories during the day. So you need to make sure that before your baby is fully sleeping through the night, that you are replacing those nighttime calories during the day, because you want your baby having full feedings during the day. Now, the other thing that may be a little bit concerning is if your baby is taking in full feedings overnight, but only snacking during the day and then kind of dozing off and sleeping, then you want to make sure that your baby is staying awake during your daytime feedings and taking in a full feeding, because then they're less likely to do that at night. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned a lot about sleep training and breastfeeding, and I hope that you don't have any worries or challenges when it comes to sleep training and breastfeeding and sleeping through the night and keeping your milk supply up during the day. If you have any questions, shoot a comment in the comment box down below. And if you are jumping into this sleep training journey, I want you to download my free baby sleep guide. This is gonna give you free tips and tricks on how to sleep train your baby and to make it a smooth process. So I hope you enjoyed this video again, and give it a thumbs up. Share it with some mom friends who may be breastfeeding and also thinking about sleep training, and keep blooming. Mwah.